You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
I'm Stephen Cabral, and I am looking forward to today's Friday review. It really is all about clean eating today and how to make that absolutely easy for yourself, for your family, whether you're going food shopping or just maybe picking some items up to cook a little later. So pretty excited about today's show. I use these same things not only in my practice, but also with my own family as well. So I kind of want to dive right into it today. These questions have really all come about from our Instagram page, which is just instagram.com/Stephen Cabral. And also, I don't know if you know this, but we have a lot of new listeners. The podcast is growing, which I'm really excited about. But if you go to cabralsupportgroup.com, it's a private, closed group, Facebook group that's just really for positive people who want to make some great changes in their life and develop a healthy lifestyle. And if you're interested in joining that group, it's completely free. We offer weekly recipes there. We offer support and Q&A and all sorts of great things. It's very low key, people just looking for advice and looking to support each other. So it's pretty amazing. Just go to cabralsupportgroup.com for more information. All right, so let's get into today's show. Today's show is all about answering, if you're on a budget and you really can't afford to buy all organic fruits and vegetables, what should you be buying? What should you be looking for? So, in an ideal world, we're all buying all organic fruits and vegetables, right? That's the ideal thing to do because we're getting less of the neurotoxins. Now, neurotoxins basically are toxins like pesticides that they spray on our food. And again, when our food is sprayed, I don't know if you know this, but if you go again, my Instagram account, you can see these photos from real life. The men and women who spray the food out on these so-called farms have full hazmat suits on, meaning that their face and whole body is completely covered. They're wearing a mask so they don't breathe any of this in, and they're spraying it on your food that you then later eat or feed to your children. Now, we know that these pesticides damage the nervous systems of the bugs. They damage the nervous systems of humans. The difference is we're looking at it at dosages, meaning at a small parts per million, there's no immediate death, right? But what happens is these things start to build up in our systems. And as they build up, the issue is they become much larger threats to our health, our immune system, our brain, Alzheimer's, all these things over time. So the issue is just not one dosage. The issue is these things have not been done long term. Again, they're causing such massive issues also in our gut. Why? Because if you're using these pesticides, which can kill bugs, kill bacteria, and also you coat that on the fruit as well in conventional-based food, and then we eat that, we swallow that. Well, guess what? Our gut is 100 trillion bugs. It's 100 trillion bacteria. So if that's what our gut is, and it kills off a lot of that good bacteria, well, we're left then with less ability to actually create more vitamins, more minerals, like our B vitamins are created there, our B12, a lot of different things in our gut. So besides that, it also weakens our immune system because our immune system, 70 to 80% of our immune system is in our 28 plus feet of intestine and all aligning around the intestine, which is called the gut-associated lymphoid tissue. So really, really important stuff, not talked about a lot. Nobody thinks it's a big deal because, for the most part, conventional fruit and produce kind of looks like organic fruit and produce. It's not as bright, but it looks a lot like it. That's not the issue. It's what's sprayed on it, and it's the lack of nutrients, not macros, but micros inside of those fruit and vegetables. And I don't know if you know this, but literally, I'm going to give you all the fruits and veggies to which ones to buy organic, which ones you don't have to. 100% of nectarines, a lot of these soft fruits, were tested positive for pesticides. 98% of apples, 96% of plums. I mean, cucumbers and lettuce had 78 and 81% of pesticides. 88% or 88 different pesticides were sprayed on bell peppers. So these things, this is really scary. And it's even scarier for the elderly, older folk, as well as our kids who are not better able to metabolize and detox these toxins in our liver. Many of these toxins actually never leave, meaning that we can get them out of our body, but they never die in the environment. They live forever, which is super scary to think about as well. So let's try to make your job as a as someone who cooks your own meals or at least shops for yourself or maybe shops for your kids as well, a little bit easier today. So let's talk about what they call the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. So a lot of people by now have kind of heard about the Clean 15, the Dirty Dozen, all those fun little terms that get thrown around with it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually link up this photo in the show notes page. So all you have to do is go to StephenCabral.com/349 today, and I'm going to give you this buyer's guide completely free. You just literally print it out and you can cut along the little dotted line. I thought this was pretty incredible. It's by the EWG, Environmental Working Group, who does the research, and they're unbiased, meaning that they do the work for us and they just rely on donations and those types of things. So here are the Dirty Dozen, all calculated from 2016, and here we go. So number one, these are the ones that you would like to buy organic ideally. And the reason is you cannot wash off the pesticides. It's not possible. They go into the skin. So we want to buy strawberries, apples, nectarines, peaches, celery, grapes, cherries, spinach, tomatoes, bell peppers, cherry tomatoes, and cucumbers. All right, so I'll read that one more time. Strawberries, apples, nectarines, peaches, celery, grapes, cherries, spinach, tomatoes, bell peppers, cherry tomatoes, and cucumbers. Now, if you're used to eating a lot of those, you'll want to just try to purchase those ones organic. And a lot of times they do sales. And the nice thing is for strawberries and for cherries, a lot of the things, you can actually buy them frozen or you can buy them fresh and then freeze them if you choose to, especially if you're going to be using them for smoothies. All right. So now those are the ones that, again, buy those organic. These are the ones that if you can't buy everything organic, these ones are a little safer for you because you can either wash off the pesticide or a lot of these contain an outside peel that you can just peel off and not eat the actual peel, right? Okay, so let's go through those. This is called the Clean 15. Avocados, corn, pineapples, cabbage, sweet peas, onions, asparagus, mangoes, papayas, kiwi, eggplant, honeydew, grapefruit, cantaloupe, and cauliflower. Okay, and some of these just aren't that sprayed that much and sprayed that often. That's why they're on this list. I'll read it one more time. Avocados, corn, pineapples, cabbage, sweet peas, onions, asparagus, mangoes, papaya, kiwi, eggplant, honeydew, grapefruit, cantaloupe, and cauliflower. Okay, so those ones are Clean 15. If you want to save some money, you can save on those ones. Now, I want to give you, what else can you do? Like, let's just say I can't purchase anything organic, or where I live, there's no farmers markets, because obviously I recommend going to farmers markets. What can I do? Well, there's this very simple formula. It's called an apple cider vinegar wash. And all you have to do is this. Whether it's organic or whether it's the Dirty 12, the Dirty Dozen, you can literally take, I always do a shot, so 2 ounces of apple cider vinegar, or just do 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and do 1 glass of water or distilled water. Anything like that is fine. Filtered water or distilled water, because of course you don't want to soak your veggies in tap water. That would be really bad as well, because you get all the toxins from the tap water. We'll save that for another day. All right, so what you can do is you're just going to get a bowl that you can completely fit all of your, whatever produce you needed. And you can do this multiple times depending on the amount of produce that you get. So let's just say you got a carton of strawberries and there's like 15 or 20 strawberries. You're going to get a bowl. You're going to add a cup of water or maybe a little bit more. And then you're going to do a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I recommend the Bragg's apple cider vinegar. You're going to put all of your strawberries into that bowl and you're going to let them soak for about 5 to 10 minutes. After you're done soaking those, again, try to move them around over that 5 minutes. Just make sure all the edges, the whole thing's completely soaked in the apple cider vinegar. Then you can put them in a strainer and then you're just going to wash them off. Let them either dry in the strainer or put them on a towel, anything with a soft fruit, and just let it completely air dry. It's easy. If you do something like, let's just say spinach or tomatoes, you can pat those dry with a unbleached paper towel or with just a regular towel. Really simple. That apple cider vinegar wash will wash any, bugs, contaminants, manure, anything off your organic fruits and vegetables, and it will also wash off some of the pesticides off your organic and conventional ones. So hopefully that helps. I do these specific things. I highly recommend it. You can just batch it. When you get home, you're taking everything out of your bags from food shopping. You're going to do that. Now, let's say that I'm out and I just grab a carton of raspberries or something like that and they're organic. I don't wash them. I just eat them. I have to be realistic, right? So I believe eating, especially berries, is so healthy for you that I will eat the organic ones. And if I was home, then I would absolutely wash them. And then I just put them in a different bowl or a glass container in my refrigerator. So super simple, super easy to do for the whole family. And then once they're out, they're all ready to be consumed, which is obviously great too, because you can eat them as a snack or put them in your smoothie or freeze them and then save them for a smoothie. I'll teach you about smoothie bags in the future, so definitely stay tuned for a future podcast on that one. My last thing I want to give to you, and this is kind of an environmental thing, it's a challenge. So I kind of want to issue challenges every single month. And one challenge that I would issue you right now is to pick up these very inexpensive reusable produce bags. So you know how we all go to Whole Foods, Sprouts, or Market Basket, or Wegmans, or one of these places to do our food shopping, or your local farmer's market? Well, a lot of time, if we don't come prepared, we're getting these plastic bags and we're putting our apples or our I don't even know what else you'd put in there, avocados and lemons and all those different types of things in these plastic bags. But then what do you do with the plastic bags when you get home? You throw them in recycling or you throw them in the trash. It's a waste of plastic. My recommendation is obviously try to bring your own shopping bags if you can, those canvas ones, but at least these tiny little things that you can crumble up. They're just called flip and tumble set of 5 reusable bags. So literally you get 5 bags, you can see through them so they can use them at the register, and they're super lightweight, they're easy to use, you can wash them and reuse them if you want. But again, you're probably washing your apples and things like that when you get home anyways. So I highly recommend these. I'm going to link them up on the show notes page. And my challenge to you would be bring these every time you go food shopping, keep them in your car, and doing this will needlessly really add more plastic to our environment, which if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for your kids or do it for your nieces, nephews, future grandchildren, whatever it might be. We cannot keep accumulating the amount of plastic that we have in the environment. So absolutely do that. And then also on a hot day, you're not getting these plastics getting right into your foods as well and off-gassing too. So hopefully this show helped today. Please feel free to pass it on to anyone you believe it could help. And thank you once again for tuning into the Cabral Concept.
I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stephencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.